The only reason we have caulking right there is because the idiot who installed this didn't do it right. This jack needs to be wrapped inside of this pipe, so this pipe should have been about 4 inches shorter, and then this metal flashing, which is lead actually, should be bent into the inside of the pipe. Not half-assed with caulking like this. Look at all those gaps. That's where your water gets in at. That's not a good installation. They didn't wrap this one either. So that pipe is down in there about 5 inches. Didn't even care to wrap it. Obviously the person installing these doesn't realize that you have to wrap that in, because everyone in this community is wrong. Everyone. Let's check those out over there. Those don't look good either. Oh, that's insane. There's got to be hundreds of plumbing jacks that were installed improperly here. Oh my god. It pays to hire the right guy. Now, who knows how many roofs are leaking in here because those jacks are not properly wrapped inside that pipe. Hundreds? Probably. Yeah, new homes can have problems. Old homes can have just as many problems. It all depends on who's doing the work. This is your typical heaving garage floor. You can see the gaps under the left and the right side of the door, meaning that the center of this garage floor has been pushed up. Too much moisture underneath of it. So I just got done talking to the potential buyer of this house, and they're not going to cancel the inspection, but we're kind of eyeballing this garage floor. Kind of crazy. So you see this crack starting to form. You see that they did some patching in here, a few areas, and some of this concrete's actually starting to dip out. Well, this has been shaved down. This whole middle section has been shaved down because this has fallen so much. This was heaving. This was lifting up on this side, so I'm sure you had a lip sticking up all the way down, so they shave this thing. You see they come in with a grinder and they'll just grind this thing down so it doesn't stick up anymore, so there's no more trip hazards. But you can see that major crack starting and going all the way through the concrete driveway in through the concrete garage floor, and that's deep. That goes down quite a ways. So we're getting some movement in here, water, hydrostatic pressure pushing this up. And we're also seeing some movement on the garage door here, the passage door. Seeing some structural. Start seeing that tape up there where it looks like it's being pulled apart and stretched. That's a structural mark. See this crack starting to pull away and actually lift up, displace. That's structural. So we got some issues here. I don't blame the guy for taking a second look at all this, because this is a major crack. This middle section of the driveway or the garage floor is probably raised an inch or two. Now, it doesn't look like much when you're sitting here. You start seeing all the cracks that convey out to the outer walls. This big crack here. When this rounds a corner like this means this whole corner is starting to settle, or the rest of it is lifting up. But you've had some movement here, and because this says it's got a big column in it, structure usually stays there. But if you get it super wet, super absorbed underneath of it, it'll just drop. We've got the same thing going on with this column over here. Excessive moisture around it. Just take a step back and look at this thing. See how much that fascia drops down on the right hand side there, and how they tried to fix it right in front of us? Look at that. They just shaved off part of the fascia to make it match, even though the top side of it isn't going to match. See that? So fascia isn't structure, but fascia is attached to structure. So when you get a little bit of movement like this, you can see the plane of the shingles is pretty even. It does look like it drops down a little bit. And I usually look at the other properties around too. They've got a little bit of drop. That house has got a substantial amount of drop as well, just on those sections around the corner in the front of the property. See, that one drops down just a little bit on the left hand side. If we look down this way, you can see some of that fascia is wiggly spearmint gum, man. Look at how bowed out that is down at the end. So it's not like it's uncommon, but it's not good either. What did they fill this water box with? Hamburger? What the hell? You can see the concrete tiles up there that are not even touching on this corner. So this corner is dropped down and the concrete tiles are holding themselves up. There's a gap there on that corner. I'm seeing the same thing right here too. See, there's a 4-inch section here of fascia, the top side of it, that's completely exposed. You don't have any mortar cap over the top of it or anything right there. So part of our problem here is drainage. I love that they put gutters in here. It was a great idea, but again, you can't just terminate them here. You just ruin the whole point of having gutters. If you have gutters, put it up here, and downspouts going into the same area where the rain was going to run off and fall anyway. There's no point. So all this heaving that's going on in the garage floor, look at where your downspout terminates. And that's collecting water from that roof surface, all the way up right next to that jacked up plumbing vent. And then over here you've got all this roof surface is draining right here and filling up all this. You can see the settlement of the pavers. Certain areas you get water ponding, leaving dirty marks like that. It's all moisture related. It was easily preventable, but they didn't do the discharges right. And then with the door closed, you can see the gaps on the outside. So if you're driving by a property, you're looking at houses to buy, and you see gaps under the left and the right hand side of the door, and the middle is pushed up, that's your telltale sign that there's some heaving going on. You got some moisture issues. You can spot this just by driving by. I thought this would be interesting to drive down the street and see how many of these fascias are actually bending in or bending over. Look at how common that is. It's actually really common to see that dip down a little bit in this neighborhood. See, that fascia just looks terrible in that section. Same type of roof right there. Looks like it's dropped a little bit. Maybe not quite as bad as the house we were at. So we're looking for movement there. That one looks good. The fascia down here. Looks alright. See the waviness right there?